focus on getting those kids back to school this year, area builders are trying to figure out how to limit the impact of a potential future pandemic years down the road. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb shows us how COVID-19 may permanently change the look of schools, offices, and hospitals.
Some days it's enough to wonder what getting back to school this year will look like. But what about the school of the future? After COVID-19, is there a way to pandemic-proof a school building from the ground up?
Yes, we are definitely seeing clients ask questions.
That's what architect Matthew Griffith is dealing with.
Things like the materials that we specify, how cleanable they are, rounded corners in rooms.
Matthew says with the thought of a future pandemic in mind, segmented spaces could be the norm for new schools.
I think you will see a big focus put back on true flexible space. And when I mean flexible space, spaces that can have, demountable partitions and movable walls to where it could be segmented or more individualized on an as-needed basis.
And that idea extends beyond school buildings. Matthew says the same can apply to hospitals and other office spaces.
I think it's going to be fairly common in a lot of designs to have dedicated spaces for temperature checks.
One likely focus, Matthew says, will be a building's heating and cooling system. Rather than circulating air throughout the whole building, installing units that can keep air within smaller areas in case of an outbreak.
We're starting to see talk and more segmentation to where they can block off maybe a wing of a hospital or a wing of a school to be dedicated on its own HVAC unit.
Schools have been through similar kinds of building trends before. In the early 2000s, it was all about security and hindering active shooters. Just like those changes, Matthew says COVID-19 will likely leave its mark on big building blueprints.
It's always something that's evolving.
Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.